No one really prepares you for this kind of parenting. Not the appointments, not the opinions, not the quiet moments where you wonder if you're doing enough or too much, or somehow both at once. Most parents of neurodivergent children don't wish they knew more strategies. They wish they knew a few truths earlier. Truths that could have softened the fear, the guilt, and the constant second guessing. This is not medical advice, it's lived perspective, shared gently, honestly, and with deep respect for the journey you're on. Ready? Because this is Kind Parent Collective. Less perfect parent, more real one. You're allowed to grieve and still love deeply. One of the hardest things parents experience and often feel ashamed admitting is grief. Grief for the version of parenting they imagined. Grief for ease, predictability, or support they thought would come naturally. Grieving doesn't mean you don't love your child, it means you're human. Two truths can exist at once: deep love and deep sadness. Suppressing grief doesn't make it go away, it just makes parenting heavier. Many parents wish someone had told them early on, grieving doesn't make you a bad parent, it makes you an honest one. Development is not a race. The pressure to catch up can feel relentless. Milestones are often treated like deadlines, and when a child moves differently, parents feel urgency, even panic. But neurodivergent development doesn't follow straight lines. It unfolds in spurts, pauses, and unexpected leaps. Parents often wish they knew sooner that slowing down doesn't delay progress, it protects it. Growth that happens under pressure rarely lasts. Growth that happens in safety often surprises you. Your child is communicating even when it doesn't look like it. Communication isn't limited to words. Parents frequently wish they'd understood earlier that behavior, movement, silence, repetition, and emotion are all forms of communication. A child who can't explain what they need isn't being difficult. They're doing the best they can with the tools available. Once parents stop asking,
"Why won't they tell me?"
and start asking,
"What might they be showing me?"
everything begins to shift. Regulation comes before learning. Many parents wish they had known that calm is not a reward, it's a requirement. A dysregulated child cannot reason, listen, or learn in the way adults expect. When the nervous system is overwhelmed, survival takes over. No amount of explaining or correcting works in that state. Understanding this earlier helps parents stop blaming themselves and their child for moments that are simply about nervous system overload, not parenting failure. You will know your child better than any professional. Professionals matter, therapies matter, support matters, but parents live with their child's patterns, rhythms, triggers, and joys every single day. Over time, many parents wish they had trusted themselves sooner instead of doubting their instincts in the presence of authority. Expertise doesn't replace relationship, and intuition built through daily connection deserves respect, especially from yourself. Not all advice is meant for your family. One of the most exhausting parts of neurodivergent parenting is advice, especially when it's unsolicited. Parents often wish they'd known earlier that it's okay to filter advice without guilt. Something can work for another child and still be wrong for yours. You're not required to try everything. You're allowed to choose what aligns with your child's needs and your family's capacity. Progress is often invisible. Some of the most meaningful growth doesn't show up on charts. Trust, emotional safety, reduced anxiety, self-awareness. These changes don't announce themselves, but they matter deeply. Parents often overlook them while searching for obvious wins. Many wish they'd known sooner that progress isn't always louder, faster, or more impressive. Sometimes it's quieter, steadier, and deeply personal. Comparison will hurt you more than it helps. Comparison sneaks in quietly at playgrounds, family gatherings, or online. Parents often wish they realized earlier that comparison rarely motivates. Instead, it drains confidence and joy. Children aren't usually comparing themselves. Parents are. Letting go of comparison doesn't mean ignoring reality. It means choosing connection over constant measurement. Your child is not giving you a hard time. They're having a hard time. This shift in perspective changes everything. Parents often wish they'd learned earlier to see challenging moments as signals of overwhelm rather than defiance. Once parents respond to the why instead of the behavior alone, the entire dynamic softens, even when the challenges remain. Advocacy is a skill you learn over time. No one starts out knowing how to advocate perfectly. Parents often wish they'd known earlier that advocacy is learned slowly, through trial, error, and courage. Finding your voice takes time, and it's okay to grow into it. You don't have to explain everything perfectly. You just have to show up consistently. You're allowed to protect your energy. Neurodivergent parenting requires emotional stamina. Parents often wish they'd learned sooner that rest isn't selfish, it's necessary. Saying no, setting boundaries, and choosing fewer battles doesn't mean you care less. It means you're protecting what matters most. Burnout helps no one. Sustainability helps everyone. Your child's strengths may look different than expected. Many parents start this journey focused on what their child struggles with. Over time, they wish they'd noticed strengths sooner. Creativity, honesty, focus, empathy, problem solving, or unique perspectives. These strengths may not show up in traditional ways, but they're real. Seeing your child clearly means noticing what is, not just what's missing. You don't have to earn rest or reassurance. Parents often believe they must do more before they deserve support, but reassurance isn't a reward, neither is rest. You don't have to prove you're overwhelmed enough to need care. Many parents wish someone had told them earlier, you are allowed to be supported exactly as you are. You're not failing, you're parenting differently. Neurodivergent parenting doesn't follow familiar scripts. Parents often wish they'd known earlier that doing things differently doesn't mean doing them wrong. It means responding to a child who needs something different, and that takes courage. You are not behind, you are not broken, you are adapting. If you're carrying doubt, exhaustion, or quiet grief, you're not alone. Most parents of neurodivergent children wish they'd known these truths sooner, not because it would have made parenting easy, but because it would have made it gentler. At Parent Collective, we believe that parenting isn't about perfection, it's about presence, patience, and compassion for your child and for yourself. Please like, share, and subscribe. And if today was rough, you still did enough. Catch you on the next one.